Hello and welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report on GoHofstra.com. Joined as always by the head coach of the Hofstra Wrestling Program, Dennis Papadatos. Coach, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Short week, so.
Yes, a real short week. A big dual match win on Sunday over LIU, but a quick turnaround with 3 dual matches this weekend, starting Friday at 4:30 versus Davidson, and then 2 on Saturday against Franklin and Marshall and Columbia. But let's talk about the 38-6 win over LIU in an EIWA match. You moved to 4-5 on the season overall, but 2-0 in the EIWA. I think the key word of the day would be aggression. Our guys wrestled aggressively. You got 2 tech falls, a pin, a major decision of the 9 competed matches with one win by forfeit. Was that the game plan going in?
Yeah, the game plan is always to get to your offense, get to your points, try to get better, use it as a training period. It's been an interesting long year. We feel like we're much better than our 4-5 record. Part of the issue is we had 3 matches on one day where everything that could have went wrong pretty much did go wrong, and it cost us 3 losses. But it is what it is. The guys are rebounding from it. It took us a little bit to get out of that. Kind of really since then, since that whole thing transpired, we're wrestling pretty well. I thought we were even wrestled pretty well with the butt kicking we took from NC State. I thought we battled and could have won some, and as I said, that effort would have turned around some of those other losses, and now that effort's staying, and we're running through some people. So, but the plan is to stick to what you do. Getting ready for March. It's all part of, competition is preparation. That's all it is right now. It's part of the practice plan to get ready for March. So I was happy with the guys going out there with the belief and expectation and the execution to win.
Now, there were, like I said, 4 bonus point wins with the falls and the tech falls and the majors, but a couple of close matches, close decisions. Vinny Vespa at 141, Sage Heller at 174. They had to really gut through their matches. So while they got the wins, I think you had to be pleased with the fact that they battled throughout and came away with those victories?
For sure. We say find a way to win. The great people find a way to win. It's always not perfect. In fact, it's almost never perfect. There's always going to be some type of adversity. Those guys want to win too, and they want to find a way, and they want to push your pace, and they want to steal a match, per se. So you're going to get their A game and less pressure on them. And so sometimes you just got to figure it out. And I was glad that those 2 guys, kind of figured it out, and they're both disappointed in their performance, but as I told them, they say you either win or you learn. We've been lucky enough, especially this weekend, that we won and hopefully we learned, so we can win twice, right? Like where you take the lesson for some of the things you struggled with and the victory. That usually doesn't happen that way. So we're trying to focus on that, focus on the things that put us in the adverse situations. But thank God we also took the win home and we move forward with it. So I think they're excited about that.
All right, one wrestler, took 9 of the 10 weight classes. One wrestler I want to single out, even in the loss. Yeah. Charlie Kane, 149 wrestler, wrestled up 2 weight classes due to some situations with at that weight class. Got pinned, but I think from my perspective, seeing a guy go out there giving up 18 pounds, going against one of their better wrestlers, for that time he was on the mat, he really battled and he really kind of took one for the team.
100%. I was actually it's funny that thank you for bringing that up, because it was one of the things I made a mental note that I wanted to mention. Didn't complain about it. Wrestled what we think is their best kid, a 2-time state champ that just transferred in out of Ohio State, that they're really high on. We wanted Ricky Stamp to be in the lineup. Obviously, it wasn't to be, but Charlie stepped in because I don't believe in forfeiting if we have someone to put out there, and we technically can. So he went in there and he battled, and we appreciate Charlie. He's been here 4 years now. He'll be a redshirt senior next year, and it was nice to see. It's that's what the team's about, and I'm glad that we have a situation like that. That all I said was, I want you to wrestle 65, and he said within 1 second he said okay, and that was it, and went out there and did what he could do. So I'm proud of him.
All right, and that's your mantra's been all year. Don't dwell on the wins, don't dwell on the losses, on to the next. So let's turn our attention to this Friday, 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon, in the David S. Mack Physical Education Center, next door to the Mack Sports Complex. You got Davidson on Friday, and then 2 big EIWA matches on Saturday. beginning around 4:30 p.m. with Franklin and Marshall, and then Columbia, 3 p.m. Franklin Marshall will wrestle Columbia here at Hofstra. What talk about the challenges of 3 matches in 2 days? I know you wrestled 3 in one day before, but 3 matches in less than 24 hours. A short week, short turnaround, getting guys healthy, getting guys ready for this weekend.
I mean, there's a plan about it. Obviously, Columbia's doing the same thing. Columbia's wrestling post when we wrestle Davidson, and then they're wrestling us in F&M, right? And F&M is wrestling post as well, and then us and Columbia the next day. So, the reason we did it, and I wanted to do it, is to have a small makeshift version of the conference tournament. The conference tournament's Friday, Saturday. It's 2 days. You got to make weight twice. We have 2 conference opponents. So we have a match Friday. You have to make weight again +1, just like you would have the conference tournament. 2 matches Saturday. It's actually an abbreviated version, because in the conference tournament, you'll have to wrestle 2 matches on Friday, make weight, wrestle hopefully 2 matches on Saturday. So it was supposed to be a quick 1 month out mock run of the conference tournament, and that's why and the good news is that we're home, so it makes it a little easier just to kind of see if we need to make some adjustments for the conference tournament. And I'm sure that's why Columbia and Davidson and F&M are doing it as well, because they have similar situations and circumstances. They're probably using it as a mock quick run of the EIWA tournament, so we're just that's the plan for it, to obviously go in and be successful. And if there's any things we need to tweak, let's find them out now so we can tweak them a little bit for the conference tournament, on what time you work out before weigh-ins, travel, what time you're going to go to bed, things like that, where it's almost like a guinea pig run through. So it's a lot, but the conference tournament's a lot, so you can't be ready for it unless you experienced it before, right? So that's the reason. That's why we do things like Vegas, and that's why we wrestle NC State, and this is why we do this actual exact event, was a quick run-through mock of the EIWA tournament, sort of.
What challenges do these opponents present? What's the game plan going into the match?
Davidson is vastly improved from last year. They got some good kids, and they got some good kids at certain weights. I'm sure they're coming in to try to win. Us and Columbia have been going back and forth the last couple of years, and F&M. And Columbia and F&M are both, as I like to say, they're in the IWA. Everyone's in our way, but Columbia and F&M are directly in our way because they're in our conference tournament of accomplishing our goals, right? So, you're going to prove your worth, to send a message for yourself that this is where we are, this is where we belong, and hey, I'm going to wrestle you, and you better not hope you draw me in the conference tournament, because look what I just did to you. You know what I mean? I'm sure, and they're trying to do the same thing, right? So, but that's what we're focusing on. They're all 3 have guys that can wrestle. They should have all full lineups, and pretty competitive new younger coaches that are hungry and trying to get their programs going. So. We'll go forward and do what we've been doing, and focusing on what we've been focusing on. Davidson and F&M and Columbia don't matter. It doesn't matter who we're wrestling. We're going to go about it the same way, and hopefully keep getting up some of the results that we've had on our good days.
All right. Once again, that's Friday at 4:30 versus Davidson, and then Saturday at 4:30 approximately versus Franklin and Marshall, and then at 6 approximately versus Columbia. All the matches will be at the Mack Physical Education Center on the campus of Hofstra University. Live streaming and live stat links available at GoHofstra.com. And you've been watching the WB Mason Coaches Report on GoHofstra.com.